Welcome to the Liana wallet tutorial. You just go ahead and Google Liana wallet and just go ahead and click the first link. Takes you to thewizardsardine.com, and that's the main Liana page. So this is the first available widespread Miniscript wallet. Many of you have been hearing about Miniscript due to Anchor Watch, but if you want to start experimenting with it and start using it, this is the place you want to do it. It's simple, it's streamlined. I'll walk you through it using a Coldcard, a Bitbox, and a Ledger, and other keys. Miniscript allows you to do some basic inheritance, do some basic time locks. You could do decaying multi-sigs. It allows you to set basic rules and really tap into the fundamental, real power of Bitcoin script. Um, Inheritance, let's see here. You can do it yourself. This is what we'll walk through. Download Liana. Of course, if you click the download Liana button, you can prompt whether you do Windows, Mac, or Linux. I'll be doing this on a Macintosh. If you want to get professionally onboarded, you can. They have partners that you can pay a little bit extra and get full white glove service, help ordering hardware wallets to setting everything up, etc., etc. They also have a really nice Liana starter pack. Um, it's a box that comes with multiple signing devices, crypto steel, inheritance letters, everything you need to really get started. Here's some of their professional onboarding partners that they partner with. Um, and then I'll also go over their safety net, which they offer, which they have a fully non-trusted third-party custodian. This is really good for you that are very privacy conscious, because a custodian in the cloud has a key, but they have no visibility as to what your balance is, what your UTXOs are, etc. Wallet's fully open source, and it's all Bitcoin native. Currently, they support Ledger, Bitbox, and Coldcard if you're running the Edge firmware. All right, it's not on the main firmware. So you'll have to go Google Coldcard firmware and go to upgrade firmware. Make sure you're on the main Coldcard site. And then if you go to find all available downloads, and then you can see here, if you're using a Mark IV Edge, you can click here. If you're using a Q Edge files, you click here. And you can download using the Edge firmware. Eventually, we don't know when Coldcard will make this, put this on the main branch, but this is where it's at for now, even though it's fairly secure, really well tested, but Coldcard really likes to take their time and make sure everything is as bulletproof as possible. So it's up to you whether you want to do this or not. I just want to throw it out there as an option. So let's just go ahead and open up Liana. Here's how it looks. It's a really clean interface. Um, you can do either a Bitcoin wallet, you can do testnet, Signet, or Reg test. All right, so I may show you a testnet wallet, but I also have some sample regular Bitcoin wallets as well. Um, you can add an existing wallet, which we'll walk over that. But let's just start with let's create a new wallet. All right. So first we have some templates. So this is basically a template, and there's a customize button. When you click it, you'll eventually get to build your own. But if you know, look, I just want to do a simple inheritance. I want one key for me to spend and another for my family, my wife, whoever. You can click this template. This one is if you want to, have an easy template for expanded multi-sig. Two keys are required to spend and have an extra key as backup. Or you can just go in here and build your own. All right, we'll start with in here. Liana spent a lot of time really making this as user-friendly as possible. You got nice, pretty graphs, everything's color-coded, just to help you understand that with this sort of setup, what you are setting up is where one key, right, whatever hardware wallet you decide on, can spend wherever you want. But the secondary key, in this case, it's our inheritance key, can't spend for a certain amount of time. All right. Now, the whole point in that is if you say you're the family's key, right? The key that you put, give access to your wife or whoever is completely separate from your key. If they can't spend for, 15 months, you can spend whenever you want. So all you have to do is before the 15-month period ends, you just have to refresh the wallet, basically send the funds back to yourself. And when you do that, you will relock it for whatever time period that the wallet's set up for. And of course, the reasoning for inheritance is if you die, then your family can access it as soon as the time lock expires. So we'll go ahead and hit next. Again, really clean, nice, easy window here. Um, I'm going to show you how to do the Bitbox, Ledger, and Coldcard via connecting. So I'm going to show you the non-air gap method first. Um, Afterwards, I think I may make it in a separate video for you Coldcard users, how to do it all air gapped, but it's designed primarily to interact with your wallets, which isn't a big deal in the case of Ledger or Bitbox, but for you Coldcard people, you may definitely want to keep your air gap. But for the sake of this particular one, I'm just going to connect it. So let's start by connecting it. So I'm going to go ahead and go to set. And by default, they always give you a built-in key. Now, this is a hot wallet, basically. If I click this key, and I call it something key one, and I hit apply, if I try to use it, it's going to give me the 24 words to write down. All right. This should only really be used just for testing. All right. You probably don't want to do real funds. You want to actually connect a hardware wallet. All right. I'm going to connect my ledger, enter my PIN. All right. As soon as I connect my ledger, I can see it. I just go ahead and click it, and I'll just call this ledger. So even from here, even though I'm in a template, if I hit customize, I can immediately start to modify it however I want because I don't want to just do one key. I want to do a multi-sig with a whole bunch of hardware wallets. So I'm going to click add key and then go ahead and click set. And then I'm going to go ahead and connect my Bitbox real quick. There we go. Go ahead and select the Bitbox and we'll go ahead and give that a name. Call it Bitbox. Then I'm going to go ahead and connect my cold card. All right, connect my cold card and hit add key, hit set, and it should pop up. There it is, cold card. I don't have to touch anything on the cold card. It automatically is going to share an XPub. And I'll name that cold card. Now we have three. And of course, we want to make it, let's say, a 2 out of 3. All right, 2 out of 3. Now we've set up a multi-sig with 3 hardware wallets. Now the real power and difference is now we can add an additional policy. So what if we wanted to make it, like we had said earlier, a decaying multi-sig? What if we want to make this a decaying multi-sig? For instance, we worry that 2 out of 3 may not be enough. What if the worst situation came up and I wanted to just do 1 out of 3? Well, with Liana, it's as simple as clicking add key, add key. We're going to go ahead and do set. We're going to do Bitbox, apply, set, ledger, apply, set, cold card, apply. All right. And now we can change this threshold to a 1 of 3. So now we have a wallet that has 2 completely separate spending policies. You have your standard 2 of 3, and then after a certain amount of time, let's say after a year, so after 52,705 blocks, or roughly 1 year, 18 hours, and 10 minutes, I will have a 1 of 3. So I won't need 2 out of 3 of these keys. I'll just need 1 of 3. All right. Contrastly, if we want to keep it back to our simple base case, let's say we just want our ledger, right? This is just our main primary spending path. But, well, But for the wife, we went ahead and just gave the wife a Bitbox. Well, here we go again. This is even a more basic setup. But once again, in this basic spending policy, it's very clear that our ledger, our main key, can move funds whenever it wants. It's only after a year and 18 hours and 10 minutes, more or less, that this key can move the funds. In addition, you can add even more recovery paths. This is where Liana's safety net really comes in, where you can get a key from a third party custodian for up to 1 Bitcoin. It's about $100 a year, 100 euros. All right. Up to 10 Bitcoin will cost you this much, up to 100. The beauty about this is when you sign up with a custodian, what the custodian does is the custodian ends up verifying all your information, who you are, and then all they do is give you an XPub to work with. So, for example, they'll just send you an XPub. And then all you need to do in Liana is go ahead and hit set, put in enter an extended public key, and go ahead and paste it in there. And you could say custodian. And let's say the custodian has access after an additional 3 months. Now, why would you want to do this? Well, this is just a backup for your backup. When you die, you leave all the information for your wife and family to recover your funds. But let's be honest, families sometimes can't follow directions, or more appropriately, our directions end up not making much sense. Well, now they can just call the custodian after another 3 months. The custodian can use their key to help recover your funds. The beauty about this, though, is that the custodian doesn't need access to your wallet. They have no idea how your wallet's built. They don't know about your wallet descriptor in any way, shape, or form unless you end up using them as a backup of your own backup. And you can keep adding more recovery options and you can add more keys. You can There is so much flexibility in Miniscript and how you can construct your own personalized wallet that the possibilities are just endless. Under advanced settings, you can choose between SegWit or Taproot. Unless you're using the Jade wallet, I would highly advise using the Taproot because Taproot will give you a lot more privacy. It gives you privacy because the Taproot, you only reveal what spending path you're using. So if this recovery option ends up getting used, this is the only information that's shown on chain. With SegWit, all the spending paths and all the keys will have to be revealed on chain, which leaks privacy and uses up more data. Once you're done constructing your wallet policy to your liking, go ahead and click continue. And again, this is where Liana has really gone out of their way to make sure things are really clear. They spell it out and try to make sure that you understand that this is your descriptor. This is what's extremely important to keep in addition to your seed words. Because remember, if we go back here, the descriptor is what encompasses all this information, is what allows you to back up, to rebuild this wallet. You could just have the seed words just for one key, and you don't have seed words for any of the other keys. So this is why keeping the descriptor information in addition to your seed words is so crucial. So we just copy this. Now, with the descriptor, you don't have to be as militant depending on how much privacy you want. But if you were just to keep this in a text file on an SD card, stored in multiple locations, you could maybe encrypt it. If anyone gets a hold of this descriptor, all you lose is your privacy. You never are going to be at risk of losing funds. That's important to remember. But it's also important to keep this safe and private and not just keep this on you know, don't just email it to yourself in your Google Drive because if someone gets a hold of that, then they know exactly how much funds you have, and that's no good. Again, down here, Leanna's done a great job at breaking down the descriptor, the mini script, and reading it for you. So this is a good place to review to make sure that it's doing what you want it to do. So you see, one signature by custodian can always spend this. Wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. So you can see I purposely made a mistake here, and we want to go back. So let's go back because we're like, that makes no sense. This is not what I wanted to do. All right. So we can just go to edit and let's say Coldcard. Coldcard's our main device. We have Coldcard, Bitbox, and then custodian. Continue. There we go. So in case you're wondering why this is such a good feature, well, case in point, you could have created a wallet that was not correct. So it's very important to label each key as you put them in, and that way you can review your policy later. So cold card, that's me. I can always spend. Bitbox, that's my wife's. All right, she can spend after a year. Custodian, this is the custodian using the recovery key that they gave me, recovery path number 2. All right. Now, backs up your descriptor. They always want to check to make sure you backed it up. You don't want to lose this. All right, once again, we get an overview page. So this is where we can double check to make sure that this looks correct. You know, now I happen to know the master fingerprint of my key on the cold card. That's really all you need, the 7CFA. The Bitbox master fingerprint is B56, and then you have this big long XPub. And then, of course, there's our custodian key. All right. These are all just made up keys. But now, in order for a wallet to use a Miniscript policy, it needs to be registered. The wallet needs to be fully aware of what the policy is, how it's constructed, etc. And Liana's made it really easy. You literally just need to plug in your wallet and everything else will happen seamlessly. So since I still have the cold card plugged into my computer, I can see it right here. Then I'll go ahead and show you a preview of how nice it looks on the screen. All right, so I'm gonna click cold card. There you go. Pops up immediately on the screen. Ask you if you want to verify this. It writes it all out. Taproot internal keys. Now, this is where Miniscript can be a bit much, because it's quite difficult to verify all this information quite easily. But I'm going to make a separate video, actually, how you can verify all this information as easily as possible. So I'm just going to hit enter, and I'm going to hit enter again. There. And now that wallet is registered. There, I unplugged it. Now I can go ahead and plug in the other wallets and register them as well at this step. Or if I want, I can do it later. But we'll just do the other wallets later. So I'm going to say I have registered the descriptor on my device. Ah, this is one of the biggest upgrades Liana has done. Liana is heavily privacy focused. So initially, the only way you could run Liana is using your own node. You had to already have Bitcoin Core installed, everything on your computer, a full node. Later, they expanded that. All right. And they expanded that to say, like, okay, you can either have your own node or they would do it for you. So with just one click, if you want absolute privacy and you don't even want to go through the hassle of installing Bitcoin Core and doing all that stuff, you could just click one button and it will automatically and install a Bitcoin node on your device. It's going to be a prune node, all right? A prune node meaning that it only keeps the last 10, 20, maybe 30 gigabytes of data. Now, you still need to download the whole blockchain, but it doesn't keep it, it prunes it, and it only keeps the most recent data. This can save you on a lot of disk space. However, this was still a big burden for a lot of people because let's say you're not super privacy conscious, or let's say you just want to try out this wallet and you don't want to have the hassle of downloading Core just to use it. Well, now you have something called Liana Connect, where they basically will host it all in the cloud. Of course, this you're giving up a little bit more of your privacy because Liana is hosting that server and they could technically see your information. Now, why would they do that? Such a privacy focused, hardcore Bitcoin people? Well, they're not, but we don't trust, we verify. So for you super privacy conscious, go do your own node, but I'll show you how easy the Liana Connect option is really quickly. So you do need an email to associate the wallet with. So I went ahead and just, for privacy reasons, just created a private email from my iPhone and go ahead and put that email in there. And as soon as you click next, it's going to go ahead and send an email. Gonna go ahead and type in that code 077577. And look at that. Now I'm in. So now everything's just happening connected to a server in the cloud. Now the wallet interface is really clean and streamlined. All right. You have your home screen, which obviously shows your balance. It's doing an initial sync here, which should only take a minute. Oh, it's done. You have your send screen. You want to send to an address. You put in the address. We'll walk through an example of this. You can add multiple addresses, put in your fee rate. You have your receive. All right. Click generate address. Here's the address you want to send funds to. You can verify it on your hardware device, or you can show a QR code, or you can apply a label. Now, note, Liana's really strict about not letting you do address reuse. So if I copy this, all right, and I paste this to a notepad, if I click off this page and click back, that address is gone, and you're never going to get it back. You hit generate address. This address, look, it's completely different. 7896. This is WHUM, like completely different address. So it doesn't even let you reuse addresses. So you definitely want to copy that address if you plan to paste it over into another wallet. Or if you're doing air gap, you just scan the QR code and don't go off this page until you've used that address. Otherwise, you won't get it back. Coins, here's where it shows you your overview of coins. Transactions, list of transactions. And then PSBTs, they have a separate screen in which you can save PSBTs that you're working on that you haven't broadcast yet. Maybe you have it partially signed and it needs to be signed by another hardware wallet. And then in settings, we have the back end, which looks a little different when you connect to your own node, which I'll show. But this is where you can actually send in someone's email and you can share this wallet with them. Now, this would be a watch only wallet. All right. So let's say um, your spouse or loved ones, you want to go ahead and share this wallet with them. They can download, just put in the email, get a code, and they can see the whole wallet. They don't have access to it because their key isn't till the future. But this is one way that you can share it with someone. The wallet has the wallet descriptor. You can always copy that again, and you can still register. So I haven't registered it on the Bitbox yet, right? So I can plug in the Bitbox right now and hit register on hardware device, and I can go through that step. Recovery. This is where you go to recover funds once you're trying to access something within a time lock window. I'll show you that in a minute. And then there's the about, which just shows you the version. All right, so let's go ahead and copy this wallet descriptor. All right, paste. Copy this wallet descriptor so we have it. And then let's just go ahead and quit Liana Wallet. If I go ahead and reopen it, I can go ahead and delete it. Now, if you delete a wallet that you have on the cloud, it's super easy to restore. You just go to add an existing wallet. You say that you're using Liana Connect. Then you're going to go ahead and enter in that email, hit next, enter in the token that you got in your email, and boom. Now, every wallet that you register in the cloud like this is all saved. And they're all saved by their master fingerprint. CDZ4J, 3K. This is a completely different wallet. Yeah. So let's say we want to reload this wallet. All right. We'll do skip. We already have this information. This is all stored in the cloud. And there it is. So here's a little test wallet I did where Again, if we want to know what the policy is, let's just go to settings and go to wallet. So with this one, I said one signature by this key can always spend, or one signature by the same exact key can spend when it's been active for 2,000 blocks or 13 days. Now, this is nonsensical. Why would you do this? But it was a test wallet, and Liana actually let me build this wallet. So you can see here, it always shows you the number of days before the first recovery path becomes available. In this case, I did the first sending on January 30th. All right. If I go over to coins, you can see the difference. All right. The expiration varies 8 days, 13 days. Now, this is what some people would view as the major drawback of these time locked wallets, is that if you're sending funds to them once, then it's not a big deal to know when they expire. But if you're dollar cost averaging and sending funds to this wallet regularly, all those time lock expiration dates, the time starts when they're confirmed in a block. Here's an example. Oh, here's an example wallet. You can see here, expired, expired. This means the term has expired and that whatever the time lock date was has already passed. And so you can obviously spend with those keys. But look at this on this particular wallet, I was setting it to it fairly regularly. So you can see all these staggered dates. A whole bunch were on the same day, then 23 days, 2 months, 3 months, and then we have 10 months, 5 months. So so if So if you're the type of person that is dollar cost averaging and sending to the wallet all the time, you need to be aware that all the times that those particular time locks expire are going to be staggered. That's an important reminder I just want to give you. So let's go ahead and copy this wallet. I'll replace this one here. All right, we're going to copy this wallet and let's load up a different wallet. Now, you can only have one wallet of each type ever loaded. So Bitcoin can have one wallet. If we go over to testnet, you can have another wallet. If you go to Signet, you can have another wallet. So we'll have to delete this. And we're going to load up this wallet. So all I need is the descriptor. So I'll say select. I'm going to use my own node. I'm going to paste in the descriptor, hit next, hit skip, verify all the information, hit next. Now I already have a node installed. So I'm going to hit select. And then I installed mine with Armin the Parman's node. Put in my username and password, and then hit next. And that's all you need to do if it's connected to your own node. It'll immediately reconnect. Now it's searching for any new transactions. Now I've already deposited some funds on this wallet, so they should pop up. Okay, it's done loading and you can see that there's no balance. Now this brings up an important point. When you're loading a wallet that's had funds to it put in the past, Liana Wallet isn't going to explicitly just scan backwards forever and ever until it finds it. It's expecting you to do the scanning. So the scanning is in settings and under node. So this wallet I created just a week ago. But if I wanted just to be broad, I can say, look, scan from 2025-01-01. All right, that's a whole month. You hit start scan. You see, it automatically did the scan, which went by super quick. Now it takes the wallet just a second to update. Oh, and there it is. You can see there's an expired token. Okay, so this particular wallet, it looks like it just has one coin. All right. If we want to see more information about the wallet, remember, let's just go to wallet. We can see this wallet has one primary spending path, and then it has a secondary primary spending path that's active after 12 blocks or 2 hours. All right, that's just because I didn't want to wait a long time. And you can even read that in the descriptor, older than 12. So now you can see this option open. This is telling you, look, a recovery path is or will soon be available for one coin. All right. So it's asking you if you want to refresh the coins, basically send them back to yourself. So Liana's come up with a very easy button where it's just one click. And you basically want to go to mempool, check the fee rate. All right, we'll do high priority 4 sats per VByte, and we can be on our way to doing a self transfer. Now, this is identical to doing this. If I go to receive and I generate an address and I copy that address, and then I go to send and I send it to myself, I'm doing the exact same thing. You know, I hit max. I want to use this whole coin. I just did the exact same thing as what I did before. So Liana just makes it like, look, if you're going to be refreshing, just click this button and I'll take all the guesswork out of you. You know, I already generated an address and I set it to send back to yourself. So in case you were wondering what the difference is. So let's go ahead and click sign. And then, of course, it's like select the signing device to sign with. Now, let me double check my wallet settings because I don't even remember. Okay, I'm going to sign with this particular key. Now, another important thing to point out is if you're using the recovery key, you can't do it from the main send screen. I have the cold card plugged in right now, but it's from the recovery master fingerprint, not this one. So the cold card is not even registering. You have to go to settings and you need to go to recovery. Now I can go ahead for recovery, and then we need an address. So we'll go to receive, generate address, we'll copy, then we'll go to settings, recovery, and then paste in that address. And we'll do 4 sats per VByte. All right, and hit next. So I have my cold card plugged in, but it's not showing up. The reason why it's not showing up is because I never registered my cold card with this device. So I'm going to go ahead and go to settings and go to wallet. And I'm going to go say register on hardware device. Now I go ahead and click on the cold card. And immediately I see the cold card screen update. And it shows me the name. I can verify all the information. And I'm just going to click enter. And there we go. Now that it's been registered, I could go to settings, recovery, put in an address, hit next. So I'm gonna go ahead and click sign, hit cold card, pops up immediately, validate. And I'm just gonna scroll down. All right. 12 blocks, see? Cold card even registers, and I'm gonna hit enter. And then it's gonna sign, and there it is. Now all I have to do is hit broadcast, and we're good. In addition, here's a pro tip. If you're going to be testing and creating multiple wallets and registering them all, the cold card has the ability to hold on to multiple saved in memory. Ledger will wipe one wallet and replace it with another descriptor as you create them. But be warned, if you have multiple wallets in the cold card that are all different, but several of them use the same XPubs, the cold card is going to get confused and not know which descriptor to use. So make sure that you go into old descriptors and go ahead and delete those. That's just an advanced tip. Here's another really important note is when you do a recovery spend, you don't have the options of selecting which coins you do and do not want to use. When you use a recovery path, it automatically is going to send all the UTXOs. That may or may not be important depending on your privacy level. Maybe you brought in all those UTXOs from a mixer or it was peer to peer. You may not want to mix those all together. So you need to be aware of that. And that's basically it. I would encourage anyone to go ahead and download Liana Wallet. And even if you don't have a Bitcoin Core node or you don't want to do a prune node, go ahead and check out Liana Connect and start testing today. And just real quick, if you want to see the expanded multisig, it looks just like this, where you define key one and two. And then after a certain amount of time, it's key one, two, and three, and two out of three. So this is one where it expands. But once again, if you hit customize, you can start adding and subtracting all you want. And if you start and build your own, it looks like this. It's 1, 1, except for the add recovery option and add key is already highlighted. So stay tuned for part two, where I go over some more advanced things like how you can actually read what the heck the policy is on your hardware wallet when you register it. Also, how to do air gap transactions from the Coldcard, in addition to the best way to set up your own node.